Hello everyone, this is Teacher Juvie and I will be your guide for today's lesson.
For today's lesson, we will discuss drawing inferences involving double bar graphs. Graphs are visual representation which can give information both directly and indirectly. In other words, readers sometimes may have to draw inferences or make conclusions based on the data presented. The double bar graphs are used to compare two sets of data. Both data sets have the same categories. The following are the things that we should remember before drawing inferences. So yung first is, we have to determine the topic or the title of the graph. So dapat alam natin ano ba yung topic or ano ba yung title ng graph. Kasi dun pa lang malalaman na natin kung saan ba tungkol ang graph. Then, look at the axes, the x and y axis, to understand the relationship that is being illustrated. So, bibigyan natin ng pansin yung dalawang axes. So, yung x-axis at yung y-axis. So, di ba merong label yung ating x and y-axis? Doon kasi sa mga label, malalaman natin yung relationship ng mga data. And yung third is analyze the data in the graph presented. So, i-analyze na natin yung mga data base dun sa graph na pinresent. Okay, so let's take a look and explore this example. So, as you can see, the title of this graph is Leo's Grades. So, mapapansin nyo, this is a double bar graph dahil dalawang bars ang ating nakikita. So, yung una, base dito sa legend natin, yung ating color pink na bar, ito yung third quarter grade ni Leo. Sa math, sa English, sa science, sa Filipino, and sa AP. So, yun yung label ng ating x-axis. Then, yung blue bars, ito naman yung fourth quarter grades ni Leo sa math, sa English, sa science, sa Filipino, and sa AP. And yung grade niya ay nagre-range from 76 hanggang 90. From the information given in the bar graph, it can be inferred that Leo performed best in Filipino in the third quarter, while in AP in the fourth quarter. So, base nga dito sa ating bar graph na nakikita, nung third quarter, ang pinakamataas niyang subject ay Filipino, or pinakamataas niyang grade sa mga subject is Filipino. Then, nung fourth quarter, mas nag-perform naman siya ng best sa subject na AP. So, mag-try pa tayo ng another example. The school canteen manager, Mrs. Mary Grace M. Endriga, asked the pupils of the Mesa Elementary School which they prefer to cook among fried chicken, adobo, and sinigang for their EPPHE cooking project. She organized the data and put them on a double bar graph. Okay, so ito yung ginawang bar graph ni Mrs. Endriga. So let us look at the graph and draw inference based on the data presented to answer the questions that follow. So, yung ating horizontal axis is yung mga menu or yung mga dishes. Meron tayong fried chicken, adobo, and sinigang. Then, yung ating scale is from 0 up to 70. Then, yung blue bars, ito yung ating mga boys, and yung girls naman, ito yung bars na color pink. So, the first question, which group, boys or girls, prefers fried chicken? So, the answer is, the girls group prefers fried chicken more than the boys group. So, mas madami ang may gusto ng fried chicken sa mga babae kumpara sa mga lalaki. Which food is least preferred by the pupils? Adobo is the least preferred food by the pupils. So, kung papansinin natin dito sa ating bar graph, so yung lalaki, 30 yung mas preferred, o 30 boys yung preferred yung adobo. So, ito rin yung pinakakaunting frequency. While dito sa girls, adobo rin yung pinakakaunti, yung frequency, which only have 40 girls preferred adobo. So, therefore, masasabi nga natin na yung adobo yung least preferred ng food ng mga pupils. How many girls and boys chose adobo? So, i-add lang natin yung mga frequency nila. So, there are 70 pupils chose adobo kasi ang boys 30, ang girls ay 40. So, 30 plus 40, that is 70. Using your inferential skills, which food has the greatest number of responses? Then why? From the information given in the bar graph, it can be inferred that the greatest number of responses is the sinigang. Kasi sa boys, 60 yung kanyang frequency, while sa girls ay 50 naman. So, pag pinagsama natin yung dalawang frequency, we can get 110 pupils. Unlike dito sa dalawang menu, so yung sa fried chicken, 40 plus 50, that is only 90. Then, yung adobo, 30 plus 40, that is 70. So, mas panalo pa rin yung sinigang. In drawing inferences based on the data presented in a double bar graph, you need to analyze them and formulate opinion or conclusion. So, yung pagdraw lang naman ng inference is based dun sa data na pine-present or pinapakita ng double bar graph. So, ang kailangan lang is i-analyze yung bar graph and saka tayo magpo-formulate ng ating opinion or conclusion. Okay, so we can also draw our inferences by recording favorable outcome using a simple experiment. If you toss a coin, what is the possibility that it will land on head? So, pag nag-toss daw tayo ng coin, ano yung posibilidad na head ang lalabas? So, meron dalawang parts ang coin. So, tatandaan nyo, ito yung head, yung may tao, then yung tail, yung likuran. Siyempre, yung walang tao. In tossing a coin, there are two possible outcomes, either a head or a tail. The head and the tail have equal chances to show up. So, pag nag-toss tayo ng coin, syempre, may dalawang possible na outcome. It's either head or tail ang lalabas. So, equal yung kanilang chances na lalabas silang pareho, diba? So, equal yung chances nila na lalabas ang head at ang tail. An outcome is a possible result in trial or experiment. In this activity, the possible outcome of landing a head is 1 out of 2 or 1/2. Diba? Kapag tinos natin yung coin, ang possible outcome na maglaland or lalabas yung head is 1 out of 2. Ganun din sa tail. 1 out of 2 din or 1/2 or 50% ng iyong trial, lalabas ang head or lalabas ang tail. Okay, so let's try another example. Dave Marr created a spinning wheel with 4 equal sectors and colored it with red, blue, yellow, and green. If he spun it 20 times and recorded the outcomes on a table, what are the chances of landing on color blue? So, ito yung ginawang experiment ni Dave Marr. So, sa first column, yung mga colors, yung tally niya, then yung frequency. So, sa red, ang nakuha niyang frequency ay 6. Then, ng blue, 5. Yellow ay 2. Green ay 7. The number of outcomes that the spinner landed on blue color after spinning is 5 out of 20. Bakit 5 out of 20? Kasi, nung nag-spin siya ng 20 times, lumabas ng 5 times ang blue. Kaya 5 out of 20. So, kukunin lang natin yung ratio ng outcome or recorded outcomes over the total number of trial. Kaya 5 over 20, then i-reduce natin sa lowest term. So, 5 over 20 is equal to 1/4. Next. Using a spinning wheel with yellow and red colors, Maria and Anna take turns of spinning the wheel for 10 times each. The results of the activity were shown below. So, gumamit ng spinning wheel na may yellow and red color, sina Maria and Ana. Then, 10 times nila yung in-spin. Tig 10 times sila ha. So, ito yung na-record nilang outcome. So, si Maria, nag-spin siya ng 10 times. Ang nakuha niyang outcome is 6 yung yellow, then 4 yung red. Then, si Ana naman, nung nag-spin siya ng 10 times, 2 yung yellow na lumabas, then 8 yung red. Okay, so para mas malinaw or ma-analyze silang mabuti, gumawa sila ng bar graph. So, ito yung bar graph. Makikita nyo dyan yung mga colors na in-spin ni Maria. So, we have 6 tsaka 4 kay Maria to. Then, yung kay Ana, ang nakuha niya is 2 and 8. So, dapat pag pinag-add natin yan, that is equal to 10. Kasi 10 times nilang in-spin yung wheel. Okay, so let us answer the following questions. After Maria and Ana spun the wheel, what is the probability that the pin stop on yellow color? How about in red color? So, diba, hindi pa sinabi dito kung ilang beses nilang in-spin yung wheel. So, ang sabi lang, ano yung probability na mag-stop siya sa yellow at mag-stop siya sa red? So, yung answer natin doon, since dalawa yung kulay na involved, so ibig sabihin, it's either, parang kagaya siya ng head or tail. So, it's either yellow, isang yellow, at lalabas ang yellow at lalabas ang red. So, therefore, the probability that the pin stops on yellow is 1/2, and the probability that the pin stops on red is also 1/2. Kasi nga, out of 2 colors, possible na lumabas isang yellow, possible din na lalabas ang red. Kaya, equal din yung chances nila na lumabas. Which color has the most favorable outcome? List. So, sabi nga natin, equal yung chances nilang lumabas. So, ang answer natin dito is both yellow or red has the most and least favorable outcome. If they will continue spinning the wheel for another 3 trials only, which color do you think has the most number of favorable outcome? Why? Okay, so unahin natin si Ana. So, diba, sinabi natin na in-spin ni Ana yung wheel ng 10 times. Then, ito yung kanyang nakuhang result or outcome. So, yung probability ng yellow, that is 6/10, imumultiply natin sa 3. Yung kanina, sa 10 times nating, sa 10 times na pag-spin ni Ana, nakakuha siya ng 6 na yellow. Then, imumultiply lang natin to sa 3 kasi another 3 trials ang dagdag. So, 6/10 times 3. So, we will get 9/5 or 180%. Then, nung nag-spin naman ulit si Ana, again, 10 times ang lumabas. Sa 10 times na yon, lumabas na ng 4 times yung red. So, 4/10, multiply natin sa 3. So, we will get 12/10 or 120%. So, pansin natin dito na mas lamang na lumabas yung yellow kumpara sa red. Then, kay Maria naman, dun sa kanyang trial na 10 times, at dahil nadagdagan nga ng 3 trials, so i-multiply natin 2/10 sa 10 times ng spin, 2 beses nag-stop sa yellow. So, 2/10. Then, times natin sa 3, so we will get 3/5 or 60% yung lumabas na yellow. Then, sa red naman, 8/10. So, sa 10 spins niya, 8 nag-stop sa red. Then, times natin sa 3, so we will get 12/5 or 240%. So, dito, napansin natin na mas lamang naman yung red or mas lamang na lumabas yung red kumpara sa yellow. Okay, now use the data presented in a double horizontal bar graph below to answer the questions that follow. So, ito yung ating bar graph. So, ang title ng bar graph natin is Fruits Sold for 2 Days. So, para mas ma-analyze natin at makapag-infer tayo ng or makapag-draw tayo ng inference, syempre, i-analyze natin itong bar graph. So, we can analyze this bar graph using the following questions. Which fruits sold the most number of kilograms for 2 days? So, tingnan nyo yung bar graph. Alin dyan yung may pinakamaraming na benta sa loob ng 2 araw? So, okay. So, ang nakita natin is yung oranges. Oranges is the most number of fruits sold for 2 days. Kasi nung first day, nakasold siya ng 90, 100, 110, 120. Then nung second day naman, ang nabenta niya is 100. How many kilograms of fruits were sold in day 1? In day 2? Okay, so ang gagawin natin, i-add lang natin yung mga frequency or yung mga nabenta nila sa day 1. So, nakuha natin, 510 kilograms were sold in day 1, while 470 kilograms were sold in day 2. Which day had more kilograms of fruits sold? By how many kilograms? So, alin sa dalawang day ang may pinakamarami nilang nabentang prutas? So, the answer is day 1 had more kilograms of fruit sold by 40 kilograms. So, sinubtract lang natin yung total number na nabenta ng fruits per day. How many kilograms of fruits in all were sold in 2 days? So, i-add na natin yung mga nabenta mula day 1 hanggang day 2. So, the answer is 980 kilograms of fruits were sold in 2 days. According to the data presented in the double horizontal bar graph, which fruit liked most? Why? Oranges are the fruit liked most because of all the fruits, it has the greatest number of kilograms sold in 2 days. Okay, so let's proceed on this activity. Read, understand, and do the activity below. So, una, get a die. Ano ba yung die? Ito yung beto-beto sa Tagalog. Then, roll the die. Put a mark in the tally column for the number of dots that landed on top. Then 3, do this experiment 30 times. Add the tally marks for each number of dots, then write the number in the frequency column. Okay, so ang tawag natin sa ginawa nating activity is an experimental probability. So ito yung aking ginawang experimental probability. So, 30 times kung ni-roll yung die, then ito yung aking nakuhang result. So, yung face of a die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then natali ko. Then, yung frequency, yung face of a die na 1 is 1. Nung lumabas yung 2, that is 6. Ang frequency ng 3 ay 9. Ang frequency ng 4 is 6. Ang frequency ng 5 ay 7. At ang frequency ng 6 ay 1. So, let us express the favorable outcomes of the following number of dots below land on top. So, para makuha natin yung favorable outcomes, ang gagawin natin, itong formula na to, experimental probability is equal to yung number of trials in which the outcome occurs. Diba? Kung ilang beses lumabas yung phase ng die na yon. Then, yung total number of trials. So, ilang beses ba nating ginawa yung trials, di ba? 30 times. So, let's okay, so dun sa phase na 1, ang nakuha natin is 1 over 30. So, 1 time lang siya lumabas out of 30 trials. So, 1 over 30. Then, yung phase na 2, lumabas siya ng 6 times, 6 over 30 or 1/5. So, ilo-lowest term lang natin. Then, yung phase na 3, lumabas siya ng 9 times. So, 9 over 30 or 3 over 10. Then, yung phase na 4, lumabas siya ng 6 out of 30 trials. 6 over 30 or 1/5. Okay, then yung phase na 5, lumabas siya ng 7 out of 30. Then yung phase na 6, lumabas siya ng 1 over 30. So, ganun lang natin i-express yung favorable outcomes ng number of dots. So, ikukunin lang natin yung ratio ng kanyang frequency over doon sa ginawa mong trial or sa dami ng trials na ginawa mo.
Thanks for watching this video. Hit like if you learned something from this video and don't forget to subscribe on this channel. Thank you so much.